I am Miriam, and I'm in the corner, co-founder and COO of Keto Chow.
Hold on a second. I'm Chris, also a co-founder and president,
Hello.
and the technical guy. If you're brand new to Keto Chow, it's a nutritionally complete meal designed to make doing keto easy, even when there's a Ninja Creami churning away in the background.
You could have waited 2 more seconds.
What? To start? It needs to start on time. But anyway, we also have some electrolyte supplements that are amazing for everyday use and for keeping the dreaded keto flu away.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the little bell icon for daily updates on our Keto Chow happenings. These live streams help us be accountable and stay on track. Thanks so much for joining us on our keto journey.
Yeah, even when we got the Ninja Creami going in the background. Can you actually hear me talking at all? Or does it just sound like the Ninja Creami going?
Sounds like it's over.
It's over. Kim says, "Oh, just love the creamy sounds." Well, and a lot of times, people will be at Keto Chow. They'll be down in the break room eating, and I'll come in. It's like, it's time for the creamy. Hope you don't actually want to talk to each other. Is that Rachel?
Yes.
Hi, Rachel. Are you gonna start up a load of laundry?
Oh heck yeah, that's what we do on live streams.
We've got there's so much laundry.
Yeah.
Going home.
Ours is like a really high capacity, so you can fit
yeah.
all of it at once if you want, or separate by colors, whatever you
Yeah, separate
prefer.
by colors, but definitely.
I would probably separate by colors.
Anyway.
But we have all day, so you can do that.
Yep. So welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
Keto Salt Lake is done.
Yes.
Done.
It was awesome. It was really fun. Oh,
It was.
Kate, will you show Rachel how the washer works? Nikki.
Show Rachel how the washer works.
Oh, because I was late on my line. I wasn't like clueless, but
No.
I
Well,
thought
you
you were
got
going to say
distracted.
something about how we're doing something weird today or
No,
something like
no.
that. Or we're from home instead of
Why
at
would
work.
I go off script and say other stuff?
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
well,
my brain was waiting for you to be like, even when you're at home, when you're supposed to be at work.
That's right.
And then it didn't say it.
We
so
are
I was
supposed
like,
to be at work. but
okay, I guess I'm going to get here. Figure that out.
I got Velcro cable ties.
I guess.
So yeah, everyone's saying thank you for Keto Salt Lake.
Yay.
I'm going to need to get to it, editing
Tomorrow
those.
you'll start,
Yeah.
probably.
And I don't think it's going to be that hard to edit. So in the past, and for all of you who are saying stuff in the chat,
We'll get there.
we'll get there. But
Sorry.
Blue, you guys have a con hangover.
Thank you.
But in the past, when we did Keto Salt Lake, I had a camera that was pointed at the slides and the speaker, and then there was another guy with a camera that was following around the speakers. This time, and I felt dumb.
Yeah, we didn't think of this.
Well, no, on something else. What I also felt dumb that I didn't pull out my phone, and just really quickly do a recording of, hey, for anyone who's interested, this was the setup that we were using for Keto Salt Lake. Here were the cameras. Here was the behind the scenes. That would have been really cool. I totally spaced it.
Well, maybe because you were doing something.
Yeah.
I actually have some pictures of it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was pretty exhausting. But we had 2 cameras going, and they weren't an exact match. They weren't really able to.
Yeah.
But I was able to kind of get it so that I could have one camera pointed at the right side of the stage and one camera pointed at the left side of the stage, and I could just switch back and forth between them. And so it was pretty well done, depending on things, but it was difficult to get that dialed in because I had to change the setup for every speaker each time. And oh, there's.
You can kind of see in this one. Chris is back.
Yeah, and so it was hard to do it on the fly while the thing was going. But once I got it dialed in, it actually worked pretty good.
You can kind of see in this one too. He's got there. I'm sitting by him, and then he's got the camera on the one side, and camera on the other side.
But this time, because I was actually just, as the feed was coming in, I was putting up the slides, switching back and forth. That really hurt.
Yeah.
Hopefully, with the idea that what was streaming up was the final product, and so all I have to do now is cut it up into separate chunks.
Yeah.
Which
that'd be
for the
great.
most part is just going to be split. I am going to have to do some stuff with Dave Feldman's because Windows
Yeah.
Update
Yeah. It
crashed his
crashed
computer.
in the middle
The
of his
computer just-
of the pre-recorded part of
the
his
pre-recorded part.
presentation.
Yeah, but then it took a while for it to come back up because it didn't want to boot with the clicker in the USB slot. Like it wasn't booting up.
I missed that part.
Anyway.
I'm sorry. That's what always happens.
So hello everyone.
always
Yes, we
something.
are exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
I crashed so hard, and yesterday at church, oh my gosh, I was doing the live stream for our main worship service, which is what I do, which is nice because nobody asked me to do anything else.
Yeah, he fulfills his purpose.
Yeah, nobody gets paid in our church for doing anything, which is kind of funny. And so it's all volunteer, or rather voluntold. You get asked if you will do something,
Well,
and
you
it's
can
like
say no.
you can't say no.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, well, yeah, I can do that. And so you have different people who are heads of different organizations.
Mhm.
Miriam used to be in charge of all the women in the entire area.
Yep.
But I'm in charge of running the live stream, which is funny. Applying what I've learned doing Keto Salt Lake to that, and doing what I've learned doing the live stream to Keto Salt Lake. It was this kind of symbiotic relationship. It's kind of cool. But I got done with the live stream yesterday at church, and I was like, whoa. But then we had my whole family coming over for
Easter dinner.
Yeah, for Easter dinner.
It was really nice. We still have lots of dishes. That's what's all those dishes. We got to wash those.
Denise says, yeah, it must be so hard to follow speakers that walk the stage like Dr. Barry. I knew that
hard.
Dr. Barry was going to be a problem.
I was standing there holding the camera, moving it back and forth, and then he didn't tell me that he was trying to switch the camera, so I kept moving it.
Well,
and he's
it
like,
takes
"Stop
forever.
moving it."
I
don't know what you're talking about.
If you watch the recording, you'll notice at first, yes, I was getting one of them set up, and then Miriam was following them back and forth. And then I got the other one set up, and then she kept moving. I'm like, wait.
And then he didn't say, "Stop moving it."
Yes. Well, I was like, but that doesn't mean anything because I don't know sign language, and neither does Miriam. But
Yeah.
I knew Dr. Barry was going to be a problem because he likes to walk the stage.
And there were some that were walking the stage. So next year, what we'll do is we'll have someone who can just go like this.
I don't know, because once it's set up, it took about 5 minutes to get it dialed in. But then as Dr. Barry walked back and forth, I could just go camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. Although,
except then you see the flashing from camera to camera. That's what's annoying.
Well, what I needed to do was get 2 cameras that are exactly the same and lock the settings.
Yeah, you could have done
Lock
that.
the exposure, lock the brightness. And the other camera we were using doesn't have that option.
Is that our regular live stream camera that you had?
No, it was our old A6000 that we bought so far back in the day.
The oldie.
Yep.
So that's why it wasn't as good.
Yeah, Denise wants to know if we're going to get the packets of electrolytes before the cruise. We're waiting on the packaging. It's been ordered. The bags that they go into. I'm not sure when that's going to be here. But yeah, Keto Salt Lake. It's in the can. Although, I do have to point out, there was something at the venue that was...
A lot of people were allergic to.
A lot of people were allergic to.
It could have been spring.
It could have been spring.
To give the venue some credit, because there were lots of blooming flowers right outside the door.
Yes.
And they were beautiful.
Although the guy who owned the place did have his big dog that he kept walking around with, and I'm like, thanks.
It could be you were allergic to the dog. And somebody did bring a dog too.
Yep.
And then it could have honestly it could have just been spring. Yeah.
But I'm really glad that my nose isn't all snotty and everything like it was earlier. So Becky says with hyperspeakers you gotta make sure you give them some breathing room.
Yeah.
Yep. But all in all, so Saturday technical problems didn't have a lot of them. It was actually it was pretty good. Sorry, I'm playing with this.
Yeah, what the heck?
Usually it's you that's doing
I
that.
always play this stuff.
Saturday, the technical issues were virtually non-existent. It was just solid. Super happy.
Yep. And
Um,
everybody was so nice and great. Like, I am always so impressed with the speakers from the keto space because they're just so willing to share, and they walked around and talked to people the whole
Mhm.
time, and we just love that, being able to interact with people and answer their questions. In fact, I had Dr. Berry look at my labs again. So the Dr. Rigby spoke, and he is who I'm seeing now. So he's the one who put me on that new progesterone. So then Dr. Berry said, "Well, how much are you taking of it?" And I couldn't remember. So I looked up the labs, but I couldn't look up the prescription
Yes.
he gave me. And he said that my testosterone was low. So then I messaged Dr. Rigby, who was like standing right there.
Yo, dog.
Can I have this too? And he's like, "Oh yeah, of course." Awesome.
Now, one thing that I thought of, I actually had this epiphany. I think it was Saturday, or it might have been Sunday. So Donald Vega was coming up from Costa Rica, and he said that in his presentation he was talking about how for a lot of people, public speaking is up there with fear of dying.
Yeah, they're very afraid.
Mm-hmm. And it occurred to me that speaking in front of a crowd, like doing public speaking, is no longer even an issue for me at all.
Speaking in front of a crowd?
It's stopped being like
I don't know.
Unprepared, standing up in front of people and just saying, "Yo, dog, how's it going?" Like, is that even an issue for me anymore? No. And I think the reason why is these live streams.
I can't. I'm not there yet. I'm not afraid to talk to a camera.
Okay.
And I know that there could be 1,000 people over there.
Yeah.
But it just feels like I'm in my house, so
Well,
I'm safe.
we literally are in our house right now. But for like, I think it has to do with, at least I'm responsible for, if there are technical issues, I have to take care of them. And I think a lot of people, their fear of public speaking has to do with what could go wrong. And
maybe
all the stuff that could go wrong at this
know.
point, at least for me, has gone wrong.
You know what I'm afraid of?
What's that?
Standing up there and crying. Like, standing up and saying something that is important and passionate to me and getting so emotional I can't speak.
Okay.
That's what is also, I'm afraid that people will look at me and say I'm fat.
Okay.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Okay.
And that's okay. I don't need to speak in front of people. I can have other people do that for me.
Yeah. It was kind of funny we finished up the conference, and Joe and Rachel were just up there and doing their MC thing.
They were amazing.
Oh, she's still here. I was going to compliment Rachel.
Why don't you come in and sit with us for a minute?
I was going to compliment Rachel, but now I'm not going to because she's still here. Well, there's a chair right there.
But this one's taller, so she can pop her head right between us.
Okay.
In the middle.
But you're going to have to project. Are you good at projecting?
No.
Oh, my Lord, you could hear me in space.
But they were doing a fantastic job. Props to our MCs. Is Joe asleep?
Amazing.
No, he's
he should be asleep.
Probably deconstructing, chords and wondering like what went wrong here. Like after every live stream, it's always like, what did I do?
Well, let's take some learnings for the future. Yeah, I felt bad popping in and telling you guys that you were echoing, but I'm like, I think you've got two microphones going, and
Thank you.
It was off by about 2 milliseconds.
I really wish that we always lived in your driveway, and that like when things went wrong, you could just pop in and be like, "Hey, neighbor."
I do that with the phone.
Yeah, you do. I mean, Chris is such a faithful friend because he sometimes your behind is just hanging out, and he's that person that's like your behind is hanging out.
Your skirt's tucked into your nylons there.
That is a true friend that will do that.
Now Joe does that to me too.
That's good.
He tells me my skirt's tucked into my nylons.
Right. So that we don't have to go the rest of the day like that.
Well, yeah. Wouldn't you rather people tell you your fly is down than just?
Yeah.
Eventually they'll notice. There have been a couple times I've been at work and I went to go to the bathroom at like noon. I'm like, seriously? I have
all
no
day
friends.
long.
I have no friends.
Yeah.
Anyway, Becky says people still wear nylons, right? Sabrina says I can sing in front of a crowd any day of the week, but speaking makes me really nervous.
Yeah, I could probably sing better than I could speak too. Yeah.
Janice says Rachel was in bed during keto on the couch. Your Rachel or this Rachel? Because now technically they were sitting on a fold down bed that turns into a sofa.
It was,
Yeah,
and
it's a little sofa.
It is so nice and so comfortable. Thank you so much for letting us just crash your home and crash your Easter. Like it's like you have this beautiful family, and then and us in the middle of it. Everyone was so welcoming yesterday.
It's our fault for having Keto Salt Lake during Easter.
It was so beautiful, and then Miriam gave me a special treat, which is Miriam had real dishes, real tablecloths, real silverware. I mean, everything was so lovely, and I know that is extra effort, but it really did make it feel super special. Even though I know you have a ton of cleanup, like you have to wash the napkins, because we had cloth napkins, the whole thing.
With napkin rings.
But it was interesting because I felt really precious because everything was just so beautiful.
And we're already done with one load of dishes.
Yep.
Sam cleaned it out for Haley. You're welcome, Haley, because he wanted to play the Switch.
Do you feel like you're making memories for your family when you set out such a pretty spread like that?
I think so. I also enjoy the setup because as long as there's not like ornery people, right? Everybody like works hard to make it really nice and they're like, okay, you do silver, you do this. And it's just kind of a whole like moment together. We're all working to make it cool, and Ruth's making deviled eggs because she's amazing at that.
She is amazing. Oh my goodness. I definitely ate more deviled eggs than like my person allotment.
Look, deviled eggs are amazing.
And it felt very doable because I think sometimes I just get overwhelmed with the whole process thinking like, okay, we're going to make Easter nice, and that's a huge undertaking. But she got out a list and just started writing, okay, these are the things that we need to make this happen. We're going to need water in the pitchers, and we're going to need somebody to put the forks out and
make the table bigger.
It's so, yeah. And then everybody, she would just say, okay, if we're done with this part of it, go back to the list, everybody, and find something on the list to do. And it just, all of a sudden, this beautiful Victorian table spread just appeared, but it was one doable thing at a time.
Yeah. That helps with the fighting too, because if I just say, do this, it automatically becomes the thing they don't want to do. So if I just say, I have a list, you can pick anything on the list. I don't care what it is, just do that thing.
So let's bring that back to keto. If you tell someone that this is what they need to do,
then they don't want to do it.
You have to do beef, butter, bacon, and eggs.
Mm-hmm. And then it's like, I want fish.
Right, immediately.
I just want some salmon and some clam chowder, please.
Yeah. Well, and it's so funny what we will fight against, jiggity jig, until we make the decision and we find our why.
Yeah.
And we stop eating, oatmeal every day.
Yeah.
And decide that we are now making this choice that we're going to, this is what we're going to do. And it's so funny how you can have your priorities changed. Everything will just shift when you finally make the choice.
Yeah. And just give them Eric Westman's page 4 and be like, these are good foods you can eat.
It's amazing. If you've ever tried to, and I mean, I'm sure Miriam could speak to this too. You've ever tried to potty train a child that is not ready to potty train, you're both going to be
You're just suffering. You're just giving yourself. It's like when you ground a kid. You're like, do I really want to ground this kid? Because that means they are stuck hanging out with me when they're so unhappy and they just want to play with their friends for 5 minutes.
But the moment they're ready, it's like boom. It moves very, very fast. Really, really fast. The whole process, because they're in it with you. Like they're ready to do it, and all of a sudden you don't have a bunch of accidents. The kid is not fighting you and kicking you and running away from you every single time they have to go to the bathroom. I mean, it's a very different experience when that person is ready to be on board too.
How many social workers does it take to change a light bulb? Just one. But the light bulb has to want to change.
Yes.
Chow CEO want to know what we use in deviled eggs for mayo. You can make your own mayo, which is really amazing.
Which is eggs and oil.
Eggs and oil, or you
sometimes.
can use eggs and melted bacon grease or
We've done
eggs
that
and
before.
melted butter, which I still need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe
Joe
made
brought
us
some. Oh yeah, he
when
sure
we
did.
were in Florida. I'm like, can I please have some of your mayo? And he brought us some, and we ate like almost the whole
Yeah,
thing.
it was
It was
fantastic.
amazing.
He said it, I think Joe said it was the first time someone had ever like custom requested, "Hey, can you make me some mayo?"
Right. What do you want to bring? A condiment. Can you just bring the condiment?
Can you bring your blue cheese dressing? Because I really want that.
You've never had his blue cheese
No.
dressing, neither have
I keep telling myself I will. I bought the blue cheese. It went bad. I bought the blue cheese. It went bad.
It's like an avocado. We were, Miriam was like, had an avocado in the refrigerator, and she was like, "It's ready. Who wants it?"
I know.
we literally
We
stopped
just started
everything.
eating. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a ripe avocado. I forgot.
Because we understood. You literally
Here comes
had
Joe.
a minute.
Okay, I want to say something about
Okay.
the eggs. About the
Okay.
deviled eggs.
Okay, so
This
this
is
is
back to
another
Dr. Silas' thing.
Okay.
If you are having deviled eggs once in a blue moon and they happen to have Hellman's mayonnaise, don't freak out about it. It's just if you're eating Hellman's mayonnaise every single day. If it's a major part of your diet. But even Dr. Berry said the same thing. It's just like, if you go to a store and you're out to eat or you're on vacation in Salt Lake and there happens to be a little bit of bad oil in whatever you're eating, it's not going to hurt you long term. It's all the time.
Is it optimal?
No.
But neither is traveling. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Hey, I will be the first one to admit when we went to the gun range at the mine, they made French fries and they deep fried them in coconut oil.
Okay.
Yeah.
I may have had 2 or 3 of those French fries.
I didn't.
I didn't have it.
But
Am I still alive?
Yes.
Bronson ate a bunch of them and said, you know what, he paid for it the next day, but he ate a lot of them. But, did I have 2 or 3 of them? Yeah. Was it the greatest thing in the world? No. Did it throw me off of my diet overall? No. It's just not a major part of my thing.
I was not willing to risk it.
Yeah, because I knew I wasn't going to gorge on them and it wasn't going to throw me down a rabbit hole. Me, I can't have 1 piece of bread because I'll eat an entire loaf.
Yeah, that's me with potatoes.
You have to know yourself.
Yeah.
I knew. I have my bunny ears on this season. And so, yeah, I'm looking for rabbit holes. I'm assuming that I am a rabbit, so I just play it safe.
If we eat the toppings off of a pizza and it may be made with a regular tomato sauce, is that optimal? No, but
it's better
we're
than
eating that maybe once every 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah, I concur.
Don't worry, my computer's on the hotspot.
It's actually fun.
Yeah.
We've got gigabit internet here. It's not really, the download isn't the problem at all. Anyway, so great weekend.
It was awesome.
I just
Really
keep on
fun.
saying this because you sound like you're a words of affirmation guy, although I could be wrong. But being able to take MC and
just
go,
dump it.
there you go.
We're glad we were able to help.
Oh.
Yeah,
Thanks
and
for the
it's not
privilege.
easy. Like you talk and then you're done. But they had to just always stay on the clock, and they couldn't visit with people, and they were like in timeout.
It was hard to not just hang out with people because you also have to be paying attention to what they're talking about so we can kind of sum it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was thankful to be behind the scenes, and I feel like that is what the keto community is all about. I knew, like, for instance, Abby, that was her first time giving a presentation at something like this.
She did a great job.
She did such a fantastic job, but I loved being there in the wings so that if she was like, hey, I need something, I start to, cough and need water. You actually saw Joe when Dr. Berry was up there, he kind of cleared his throat, and I thought, oh Lord, does he need water? And you see kind of Joe just
I saw it.
sliding a water in there.
It wasn't on camera, but I totally saw it.
Rachel couldn't do it because she was wearing a bunny suit and didn't want Dr. Berry to see her.
I didn't want to be distracting, but that is what everyone in the keto space is for one another. You're waiting in the wings. Is there something that I can do to help, facilitate you and help you out? And so I knew, hey, this is how much time each speaker has. But if for some reason they got to a place where they're like, and my presentation's over, but there's still 5 minutes on the clock, instead of them being like humming, I thought it would be nice if they just had someone to look over at and be like, okay, there's someone in my corner, and there's somebody in your corner today. These people right here are in your corner constantly trying to find more ways to be a blessing to you, which is awesome.
I thought it was interesting how much these speakers all care. I mean, Ben Azadi, his mission is, I'm going to reach 1 billion people.
That's a lofty
right?
goal.
Dr. Barry came up to me. He's like, hey, when you bring me up, don't read my bio.
You're like, good. It was old and dumb.
Well,
say the word.
No, he was like, I am going to say the word because this is Dr. Barry.
No, do not.
So Dr. Barry's like, you don't need to read my bio because here's the thing. If you not reading my bio allows me to answer one more question,
there you go.
Then it is where nobody cares about that. What we need to do, if we couldn't have gotten to that lady's question at the end, what a shame, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, their question is more important than what my bio is.
Well, and let's talk about that. So originally the plan was for Saturday afternoon that we were going to have all the speakers, including Abby and Autumn and Dr. Cucuzella and Dr. Barry, and then do a Q&A.
Right.
That didn't happen.
Right.
Because, well, you guys were the ones that...
Us and Miriam.
Maybe you talked to Miriam. I'm like, I don't know. I was just doing the video. But it was changed so that, because Abby needed to catch a plane flight, which I think she made it.
She did.
And then Autumn was in the weird situation of she hadn't even spoken yet.
Right.
Nobody knows you yet, but here you're on the panel.
Yeah, you're on the Q&A panel. And then Dr. Barry was his own Q&A.
Right.
Right.
And at that point, the show was, well, it was over.
We went an extra half hour.
Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I had that kind of in the plans anyway to let it go along.
Well, and the Saturday we went 45 minutes shorter than the previous day.
I'm shivering. It's cold.
Oh yeah, you want my jacket?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
But that is.
But if they see me shivering, it's because I'm cold.
Get a tortilla.
Tortilla. What about
a tortilla blanket?
Oh. But that is the. But the thing is that people matter more than the plan.
That's right.
So it was like there might be somebody, and that's why we hope if you come to any kind of conference, convention, like get together, be bold enough. I mean, I know that that's hard. That's hard to put yourself out there and like stand up and ask the question. But you're not just asking the question for yourself. There's somebody else in the audience that is like, or watching online or watching after the fact that's like, I hope that they speak into this situation. Like, I hope that they, talk about this topic.
Oh, I feel like a tortilla now.
And you're so toasty.
It's a Joe burrito.
It's a burrito. But they're hoping that question gets asked. And so we didn't want anybody to miss out in getting to ask Abby a question.
Right.
And so if somebody needed something from her, we wanted to make sure that got in. And I thought all of the speakers were so gracious. Autumn was super gracious. Dr. Cucuzella was super gracious to be like, okay, I know the plan is I have an hour break and then I have the Q&A, but he was fine to just be like, yep, let's just keep rolling.
Well, and let's talk about going to conferences in person.
Mm-hmm.
Running a conference is crazy and stupid. I would not recommend it. But
I'm not willing to do it. I'll show up anywhere.
There are a lot of different conferences.
Or meetups even.
Well, here's my Amazon.
While you're pulling that up, I want to say this. Do not be afraid to walk up to anybody if you go to a conference.
Yeah.
Miriam and I were actually in the vendor room, and a lady walked up crying because she was like overwhelmed. She's like, I'm not coming back tomorrow. And we're like, no, you need to come back. And then she was actually, Kim Howerton ran into her in the front foyer. And Kim was like, I want you to promise me to come back. Because
that was the lady who she asked a question, didn't she? Or was that someone else?
No, she didn't ask a question.
Oh, okay.
But she was afraid to talk to anybody because she was like, oh, well, like, that's Dr. Barry. Dr. Barry, he may have this front of like, tell it like it is. He cares so much and he wants you to walk up to him and ask.
Well, why are those speakers there? Okay, we didn't pay the speakers. It's called an honorarium where you get money. We did cover their expenses for hotel and for airfare. which is actually more than a lot of the conferences
Yes.
do.
Right.
But they weren't getting paid. Like no one was at the Salt Lake conference to get money. They weren't making anything off it. They were losing money by being there.
All the
Why were
conferences
they
we
doing
go
it?
to are like that. We're going on our own dime, and a lot of times, like for example, Jay organizing Omaha, he was like, "What can I do for you guys?" And I'm like, whatever the discount that you would want to pay for our flight or something, make it a discount code so that people can get there. And that's how all of the speakers are. They just want you guys there to get the information.
So do they want to speak to you?
Yes.
That's why they're there.
That's why they're there.
They've seen the elephant. They can't unsee the elephant. So
It's the bottom up.
yeah.
Right?
So anyway, so the lowcarbevents.com, in case you guys were unaware, it's just a list. We keep going to all these different conferences, Miriam and I, and I just couldn't keep track of all of them. So I made a website where you can keep track of it. You can actually
Thank you
switch
for
over.
that.
You can switch. You know, there's a map view where it'll show you where
That
they
is
are.
awesome.
Anyway,
There's one here.
there is one in Europe.
I think we should go to that one.
So you've got Metabolic Health Summit. Now that's
Should
more
come
of a
with me.
doctory one, but still lots of good information. You've got the Low Carb Cruise, which, as I pointed out to Joe Ray, is more low carb adjacent.
Right.
It's a bunch of people on a cruise who happen to be low carb doing a conference while the other stuff is going on. But,
Yeah, it's really fun.
oh, that's the one in Europe is Maria's Keto Italy trip.
Someday I'm gonna go.
You've got Keto Con. You guys are going to that, right?
Yeah, coming in July.
You've got the Orlando Summit, which
We'll
is,
be at that.
and this was originally more of like a meetup, and it's like a full-on.
Yeah,
conference.
they have like
Yes.
a lot of cool like stuff too.
Yeah. You've got the Keto Omaha Summit, which is in August. That's going to be great. This
Keto
one's
Chow's got a 50% off coupon for it.
yeah, we do. So does Two Crazy Ketos. This one's just going to be a smaller one in Tennessee. You've got San Diego, which that's Low Carb USA. That one's interesting. It's more of a doctory one because it's you can get continuing education credits. which-
Any of the low carb USAs, you can get continuing education. Yeah, but we've gone to those as a vendor and as just a
just to attend.
attendee, and all the doctors are the same there. They will talk to anybody. They're super great, nice. They just really care about people.
Yep.
So
You got the Proper Human Diet Summit, which not a lot of info just yet, Dr. Barry. Come on.
Well, I did talk to
We'll
Dr.
get
Barry.
there.
It's going to be a one-day event.
Okay.
And I'm excited about that.
Well, they're-
We're going up there.
and
We're
they're
driving
pretty
up there
limited.
for that.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
They're pretty limited in the number of people that can attend.
Yes. So just keep coming back to the website as information gets.
Go follow Dr. Barry and Nisha because
Mhm.
that's where it's going to get announced first, probably
Yep.
in one of their live
Yeah.
streams.
Or in their
It's true.
Patreon group.
Okay, so here's the Keto Symposium. That's the one I was telling you is in
Connecticut?
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
I've
So-
never been to Connecticut.
Yeah, in Stamford.
that's where Carrie
It
Brown
usually
is.
goes to the wrong page. No, it worked. Then you got Keto Palooza,
Woohoo!
That's Autumn's.
Las Vegas Keto Expo, which is supposed to be happening in October.
Mhm.
We'll see. And then Boca Raton, once again.
Boca Raton.
That's
Which also
right.
has the CME credits.
Yes, it does. So there are a lot of different keto events, and if you can be in person to one, it's amazing. A lot of them have a live stream available now that COVID has happened. Most of them do charge for the live stream. I didn't charge for the live stream because
You're amazing.
because the stress of having to refund people if it goes wrong.
Oh, so
Was-
this was just like, hey, it's free, people. If it works, fantastic. If it doesn't, like, what you gonna do?
And again, if you don't, we said it on our live stream, if you don't have the money, a lot of them will allow you to volunteer
Yes.
to get
Like
into
KetoCon.
like KetoCon. And I believe that even you can do some kind of volunteering for Omaha. I know a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of them do that kind of, I mean, don't quote me on it, but I know a lot of them will say
Worth
you
a
can
reach out.
volunteer or reach out to them and say, hey, I really want to attend. I don't have the funds. Can I volunteer? And a lot of them will say like, yeah, we need some help with the tables and that kind of stuff.
And if something is, you're like, wow, there is just absolutely nothing local to me, and it's just like, it's hitting on your heart. There's just nothing within a decent driving distance to me. That is your cue that it needs to begin with you to just have a meetup. And
Christy Davis
it
is
can-
organizing one with Shauna.
Oh, good.
So,
Oh,
because they're in
nice. In Napa.
And
California,
they're in Napa.
so it can
And
just
Keto Mojo.
And Keto Mojo's there too.
Yep.
it can begin with you meeting up for dinner at a Texas Roadhouse.
Mm-hmm.
We actually did one of those where we met up at Rodizio Grill.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like a whole bunch of people just came in and we just
Kim
met up.
Howerton and Carrie Brown were there.
It doesn't start as a conference. It starts with taking it from just an intention to moving forward with some steps to actually make something happen. It begins with something.
I love that Donnie said the ladies' room at Keto Salt Lake was such a wonderful meeting
It
place.
really was.
Never planned, but I talked to the attendees and speakers, even ground and no pretense. Whereas the men's room was, hey, and then you get out of there.
Yeah, we were partying down in the restroom. I'm sure they were like, "Hey, pipe down in there. What is going on in here?"
It's just crazy.
It was awesome.
Okay. Well, Miriam, is there anything else you wanted to talk about? We didn't really get to the comments very much, but
No.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, we're gonna play today, and we'll be back in the office tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh,
We're having
what time
meat
is it?
today.
9:50. I need to leave. I got to take Ruth to go get her
Okay.
driver's
Driver's
license.
So we're leaving.
license.
Bye,
Get off the
everybody.
roads.
Bye.